Hi everybody. I think this video might completely change the way you think about language learning. Whenever people think about, what to watch to learn a language, the first thing that comes to, your mind is TV shows. While TV shows might be useful, there's something else that might be even more useful. So let's get straight into it. If you've been learning English for quite a while now and you still think that, your vocabulary is quite limited and you don't really sound like a real person, that might be the case actually, there's something worth thinking about. TV shows aren't actually a great representation of how people speak in real life. They're actually scripted. Every line is written, edited, and carefully planned in advance. If you want to hear how real people speak, how real native speakers speak, you have to watch YouTube vlogs. Vloggers usually interrupt themselves. They just change their minds halfway through a sentence. They use fillers. They forget words. They just basically speak the way real people do in real life. And the best part is that you can learn a great amount even from a short vlog. Let me show you in this video how much you can get just by watching a video. But please, make sure you watch this video till the end and let me know in the comment section below whether this video changed your mind about language learning. Let's get going. For this video, I've chosen a few vlogs that will help me prove my point. But later on in the video, I will comment on how to choose some vlogs or vloggers that will be particularly useful for your English, for your goals. All right, just bear with me. So the first thing that you'll notice when watching vlogs is that native speakers don't speak using just perfectly structured sentences. The thing is that when we speak, we don't have time to carefully plan what we want to say in advance. It's just impossible. That's why unfinished sentences and sudden changes of direction are completely natural. Check this out.
So pretty much me and my girlfriend, we started talking online first. She actually lives in New York and obviously I live in London. So before we even met up, we had like a lot of calls and FaceTime and stuff. Actually our first call was actually quite crazy. It was like 2 hours long, and to me that's crazy. I don't spend that much time talking on the phone at all.
It was actually quite crazy. It was like 2 hours long. So it's quite crazy. I don't spend so much time talking on the phone. You see so many unfinished sentences, and that's okay. This is how people speak. Another thing you'll notice is that native speakers don't overuse words like however, because, moreover, as, and so on. Instead of making long, complex sentences, they just start a new one. And again, that's because you don't have time in real communication to think ahead, right? Check this out.
Actually, our first call was actually quite crazy. It was like 2 hours long, and to me that's crazy. I don't spend that much time talking on the phone at all. And then the next call was like 3 hours long.
Our first call was unfinished thought. It was actually quite crazy. It was 2 hours long. To me, that's crazy. I don't spend that much time talking on the phone at all. And then our next call was, 3 hours long? Yeah. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't use all these words, no. What I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't overuse all these words in an attempt to sound more sophisticated. Again, it's not an essay, it's just real life communication. And it's actually really tiring to talk to someone who's always trying to make this long, complex sentences. And just, you kind of have this impression that the person is speaking in monologues and not just having a natural conversation. The next thing you'll start noticing when you watch a lot of vlogs is that native speakers tend to use a lot of descriptive language. They don't just say, yesterday I went to the beach. They kind of tend to add some, they tend to describe the experience. Yesterday I went to the beach. It was lovely. Also, one more thing they do, for some reason, is they use synonymous expressions or just synonyms. The dish I had was really tasty. Absolutely delicious. Tasty, delicious. Synonyms. Why need to do that? Apparently you do. At least this is what they do, and you will start noticing it a lot.
Today's gonna be honestly fun because it's like there's quite literally This could go many different ways. It's kind of unpredictable, and that's what is fun about it.
Number 4, learning real-life grammar is a real thing too. Every time students think about future continuous, they remember things like, we use this tense every time when we speak about a specific time in the future. And then they usually come up with this typical example from textbooks. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I will be, doing homework. I will be having coffee with my friend. But actually, in real life, this tense is used much more often. All right. And again, you don't have to think about a bunch of rules first. You just have to watch these vlogs and you will pick up this habit and many more naturally.
And I live here in beautiful New York City. In today's video, I'll be sharing my favorite areas of Manhattan.
So in real life, you don't have to specify a time every time you use future continuous, right? Native speakers usually use it when they're introducing what they're about to do. So if you're recording a video, you might say, hey everyone, in this video, I will be talking about this and that. Or for example, in a meeting, you might say, hi everyone, today we'll be talking about this and that. Or let's say on a tour, right? You might say things like, today we'll be visiting this and that. And that's exactly why watching vlogs is so damn important, because you get exposed to grammar as it's actually used and not just how it's presented in textbooks. And obviously, number 5, one of the main things you're going to get by just watching vlogs is good natural vocabulary, not just the words that you might encounter in textbooks. Okay, for example, find these expressions in the next clip.
She actually lives in New York and obviously I live in London. So before we even met up, we had like a lot of calls and FaceTime and stuff. And then the next call was like 3 hours long because we just vibed straight away. She was actually coming to London for one of her friend's wedding, and that's when we first met up. And our first date was actually pretty sick. I've never had anything like this.
So what we have here, hang out with friends, meet up. And this is actually what they say all the time. All the time. Something's cool, you can say, that is sick. Again, all the time. We hit it off, you can say, we vibed straight away. Amazing. Really good vocabulary. Now, how to choose the right vlogger. Basically, the best thing about learning English through vlogs is that you can choose creators whose content genuinely interests you. First, think about the type of English you want to learn. Do you prefer British English or American English or Australian English or whatever? Just make sure that you follow someone who speaks the same variety that you're interested in. Voila. Second, consider their job or hobbies. If you work in IT, it might be a good idea to follow someone from the same field because you'll just pick up some industry-specific vocabulary along the way. But don't worry if you're not looking for some professional vocabulary. Even watching some daily routine vlogs or, I don't know, things happening every day with me, or, I don't know, shopping haul with someone. All these videos are just packed with really useful vocabulary that you can just use on a daily basis. And finally, I'd recommend starting with really short vlogs. I don't know, up to 10 minutes, 15 minutes top, because it's really easy to lose focus and just stop following, what other people are saying in terms of language learning. Now let's recap. By watching vlogs constantly, all the time, you will pick up natural vocabulary and grammar, see how native speakers actually use the language, see how they interrupt themselves, change the direction mid-sentence, make mistakes, use fillers and all that things, because that's totally normal, that's totally natural. All right, everyone, I hope this video changed the way you think about language learning and motivated you to kind of keep going and keep learning English and becoming more natural in what you're doing. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And that's basically it. See you in the next video. Bye.